So we'll be starting in another 5 minutes. We're just waiting for a few more people to join in.
Nishika,
Yes,
should we start?
yes, you should.
Okay. The true character of a society, Nelson Mandela declared, is revealed in how it treats its children. Abused children often cling to the hope that growing up will somehow bring escape and freedom. But the personality formed in an environment of coercive control does not adapt well to adult life. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tanisha Singh, a third year law student and a member of Girl Up Aarohi. I'm the host for today's event, along with my co host Shreya Chopra, who is a first year law student and also a member of Girl Up Aarohi.
Good evening, everybody.
We extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guests, Ms. Pragna Parande, a member of the National Commission for the Protection of Child Rights, and Mr. Imran Ali, an advocate of the Supreme Court. Thank you, ma'am and sir, for your time. Our topic for discussion today is the need to work with courts and the legal community to improve child welfare outcomes. The goal is to understand what child welfare is, why it is essential, and what the legal recourse is. I request Sumitra ma'am, faculty coordinator, Girl Up Aarohi, to share her thoughts with us.
Thank you so much, Tanisha. Good evening, everybody. So I'm sure the weather is changing and all of you are taking good care of yourself. At the very outset, I would like to welcome our guests for the day, Madam Ms. Pragna and Mr. Imran Ali. I'm sure that the deliberations are going to be really robust and they are going to give us an insight into why should we actually work with the courts, and why the legal fraternity should be really involved in the child welfare. I remember Wordsworth, who says, "In my heart leaps up, the child is the father of the man, and I could wish my days to be bound each to each by natural pity." But at the same time, Wordsworth, in his Ode to Intimations of Immortality, says that heaven lies about us in our infancy, and the shades of the prison house begins to close upon the growing boy. When he says that, he talks about the drab and the grim picture, which talks about children who are not in the best of their states. Now, what does that mean? How can a person not be in the best of his life state? Primarily, when he says that heaven lies about us in our infancy and the shades of the prison house begin to close upon the growing boy, as the child grows up, he requires a natural environment to grow up and to hone his skills, which he learns from the environment. The environment in which a child grows is very prime and important. What kind of an environment and a society are we giving to the children right now? We all were brought up in very good, a very healthy environment at home. We all got good education. We are trying to build up a country which we are thinking will be a Vishwa Guru in a very short span of time. India has always been a Vishwa Guru. But when you go to restaurants or when you go to the streets and roads where you find child laborers, there my heart becomes very lackadaisical. The architects of the country are seen to be like the tar babies, as quoted by Toni Morrison in her book Tar Baby. So what kind of a society are you envisaging for the children of today who you think are going to be the architect of the nation? Are we able to provide that good education to the children of the society, not just to the creme de la creme of the society, but also to the lowest and the weakest community? That is a big question. And here I remember Mahatma Gandhi, who said that I will not consider it a justice unless and until there is social and economic justice, and that which reaches to the weakest person who's standing there in the last corner. So it's really important for us to understand that children who are the architects of our country need to be empowered. It's my pleasure and delight to welcome you all to this webinar, which focuses on such topics. Now we are thinking of a society which will outshine everybody. You would like to grow in science and technology. But is that possible without reforming the society? All of us have become technologically very savvy now, primarily because of Digital India, primarily because, technology doesn't have any bounds. Technology has no barriers. All right. Then why do some people of the society not understand the significance of child welfare schemes, and why does one particular strata of the society understands the significance of such child welfare schemes? Is because as intellectuals we have greater responsibility on our shoulders, and keeping that responsibility in mind, the Girl Up team at Amity Law School Noida, Aarohi, decided to come up with series of webinars on the topics that are going to sensitize each and every person in the society. I'm inviting Imran Ali sir and also Madam Pragna to our exclusive radio program Samvidhan and Samadhan, which is shared exclusively at Radio Amity 107.8 FM, and Girl Up is having its own special, is going to set up its own special radio shows. So thank you so much, Imran sir and Pragna ma'am, for being here. And now it's over to Tanisha. Thank you, Shreya.
Thank you so much for that, Sumitra ma'am. I want to welcome Ms. Pragna ma'am, since she just joined. Thank you so much for taking the time, ma'am. I now urge Nishika, President Girl Up Aarohi, to say a few words.
Good morning, one and all present here. So, today I would like to start with a question. How many of you know what Girl Up is? For those of you who don't know what Girl Up is, Girl Up was an initiative brought in by the United Nations Foundation in 2010 for supporting the UN agencies which focus on adolescent girls. It helps females access their inner power to advance the skill, rights, and opportunities present for them everywhere, which we plan to do by organizing more such events, workshop, webinars as the one organized by us today. We also plan to do many events such as fundraising, storytelling, and advocacy. By taking up this initiative in Amity Law School as law students, we want to justify the concept of advocacy, which is organizing and working towards bringing a change. Today's webinar is one of those small steps that we plan to take. And this wouldn't have been possible without our faculty coordinator Sumitra ma'am and our chairman Bandapadhyay sir. Lastly, I would want to thank the whole team of Girl Up Aarohi, which works endlessly to achieve our goals of making a better society. We're looking forward to better events such as today, bringing more awareness and spreading more knowledge about such niche topics. And lastly, I would like to finish by a quote, which is, where child abuse may be committed behind closed doors, it should not be swept under the carpet. Thank you so much for everyone present here. It is an honor to host you, and we're looking forward to host you even in more events. Thank you, and over to Tanisha and Shreya.
Thank you, Nishika. Very briefly, I would like to give a peek into how the event is going to proceed. The first hour will be dedicated to the discussion on hand, where both our guests, beginning with Pragna ma'am and followed by Imran sir, will share their valuable insights with us for 30 minutes each. Our listeners can post any query they might have in the chat box. All questions will be taken up after the discussion. Pragna ma'am, if you would like to speak now.
Yeah. Good evening. Good evening. और बाकी स्पीकर मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. गर्ल अप आरोही और एमआईटी यूनिवर्सिटी के स्टूडेंट्स इतना अच्छा टॉपिक पे एक वेबिनार प्लान किया और साथ में और एक पैनलिस्ट जो है मेरे साथ असीम नईम एडवोकेट. सो एक हमारे एक भागदौड़ होती है, हेक्टिक शेड्यूल होती है. पहले तो मैं सॉरी बोलती हूँ, देर से ज्वाइन हो गई. एंड टॉपिक ऐसा है, कोर्ट्स एंड लीगल फैटर्निटी जो है वो बच्चों के राइट्स के बारे में कितना जानते हैं और वो क्या कर सकते हैं जानकारी के बाद. तो बीइंग ए मेंबर एनसीपीसीआर लास्ट 2.5 years में पूरा देश जब ट्रैवल करती हूँ मैं, अब 1 year तो कोविड पीरियड में ऑनलाइन में ही चल गया, बट आई यूज्ड टू ट्रैवल. सो फ्रॉम वायनाड केरल टू वेस्ट सिक्किम एंड पूरा नॉर्थ इंडिया मैंने कवर किया था. तब स्टेक होल्डर्स को कितना अवेयरनेस की कमी है, अभी जो कीनोट जो इंट्रोडक्शन में बोल रहे थे उसका पता मैंने, यानी मुझे एक्सपीरियंस आ गई है, नीड कितना है. सो बीइंग ए आप सब पार्टिसिपेंट्स और एमआईटी की लॉ कॉलेज स्टूडेंट्स को मैं यही कहना चाहती हूँ, बिकॉज ये प्रोफेशन जो हमारी है, ये प्रोफेशन अगर हम अच्छी तरह से यूटिलाइज करेंगे तो पुराने टाइम में फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल से लेकर आज के दिन कोई भी मुद्दा उठाने वाला या कोई भी राइट्स के बारे में आगे जाने वालों में 90% तो लीगल बैकग्राउंड के होते हैं. सो मुझे लगता है अभी आप लोग जो आगे कोर्स करेंगे, सो ये अवेयरनेस पहले लॉ स्टूडेंट्स और एडवोकेट्स को होना चाहिए, क्योंकि मैं भी एक एडवोकेट हूँ और मेरे जितने भी कांटेक्ट में आते थे, इंक्लूडिंग माई सेल्फ बिफोर ज्वाइनिंग एनसीपीसीआर, मुझे भी बहुत सारे चाइल्ड राइट्स के बारे में पता नहीं था. हमारी प्रैक्टिस की सेटअप इतना होता है, हम जो पढ़ाई करते हैं, हम लोग जो 30 years पहले हमने पढ़ाई कर ली है, तो चाइल्ड राइट्स का जितना भी है वो बाद में ही इवॉल्व हुआ है. सो हम पीछे जाके पढ़ते नहीं है. जो सिविल साइड है सिविल प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, क्रिमिनल साइड है क्रिमिनल, और डिफरेंट अभी तो बहुत सारे हैं. तो हमें जानकारी होना चाहिए, ये प्रायोरिटी है. बाकी स्टेक होल्डर्स को ले लिया तो एक स्टेक होल्डर को दूसरा स्टेक होल्डर के बारे में पता नहीं लगता है. सो कन्वर्जेंस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो एनसीपीसीआर ने इनिशिएटिव लिया 30 स्टेक होल्डर्स जो चाइल्ड राइट्स पे काम करने वाले गवर्नमेंट एजेंसीज एंड एनजीओ, सिविल सोसाइटी पीपल, सबका एक साथ बेंचेस लगाए थे हमने। एस्पिरेशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स लिए थे थ्रू आउट कंट्री। वी स्टार्टेड इन 2019। बिफोर लॉकडाउन हमने 51 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स कवर किया था। तो 16 गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे, उनको लेकर वहीं पर बच्चों का डे लॉन्ग बेंच लगती थी। तो उस डिस्ट्रिक्ट की बच्चे आके उनके प्रॉब्लम्स अथॉरिटीज के सामने बोलते थे या एनजीओज बोलते थे एंड स्पॉट रिजॉल्व करते थे। सो ये इस टाइम में हमें पता लगा जो एजेंसीज है, जो एक्ट्स है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल जुवेनाइल जस्टिस एक्ट है, कितने लोगों को पता है जेजे एक्ट इज नॉट ओनली मेंट फॉर सीसीएल किड्स, सीसीएल चिल्ड्रन, यानी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट विथ लॉ, वो बच्चों के लिए नहीं है, वो क्राइम रिलेटेड नहीं है। चिल्ड्रन इन नीड ऑफ केयर एंड प्रोटेक्शन, सीएनसीपी बच्चों के बारे में ज्यादा एक्सप्लेन किया हुआ है वहां पर। बट हमें लगता है कोई भी लॉ है, एक्ट है, तो वहां क्राइम या कुछ तो भी प्रॉब्लम होता है तभी वो रहेगा। मगर ये बच्चे जो स्ट्रीट सिचुएशन में हैं, सिंगल पेरेंट है, जो ऑर्फन्स है, जो नीड चाहिए, वो सब भी, उन सब के बारे में ये एक्ट डिफाइन करती है, उनका वेलफेयर के बारे में बोलती है। बट पुलिस ऑफिशियल्स, गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स, इवन एडवोकेट्स, दे डोंट नो। क्यों? क्योंकि जे एक्ट नया है और अमेंडमेंट बाद में हुआ। अभी भी वो आप में से कुछ फॉलो किया होगा, अभी भी पार्लियामेंट में रिसेंटली फिर से अमेंडमेंट के लिए रखा हुआ है। क्यों? डिसेंट्रलाइज वर्क करने के लिए रखा हुआ है। बहुत सारे सजेशंस उसमें एनसीपीसीआर ने दिया है। हमने जो टूर किया, हमने जो बेंचेस लगाई, उसमें हमने महसूस किया है डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे बच्चों को अगर एड्रेस करना है तो वो काफ़ी उसका रिजल्ट अच्छा रहेगा। और ये तो डिपार्टमेंट्स एंड गवर्नमेंट स्ट्रक्चर। सो एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट में डिस्ट्रिक्ट चाइल्ड प्रोटेक्शन यूनिट रहता है, जुवेनाइल जस्टिस बोर्ड रहता है, डिस्ट्रिक्ट चाइल्ड वेलफेयर कमेटी रहती है, चाइल्ड वेलफेयर कमेटी जो हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में होता है, एंड हर कोर्ट में, हाई कोर्ट में जुवेनाइल जस्टिस कमेटी रहती है। इतना सारा रहने के बाद, एंड वी नो दैट सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का स्कीम्स रहते हैं और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का स्कीम्स रहते हैं, बट स्टेक होल्डर्स को पता ही नहीं है। से डिसेबिलिटी सर्टिफिकेट वो भी नहीं दिया जाता है। प्रोसेस है उन सब में, और वो जो अनएजुकेटेड पेरेंट्स और जो लिटरेसी रेट कम है, जो इंटीरियर्स में रहते हैं, नहीं तो जे क्लस्टर्स में रहते हैं, मेट्रोस में, उन सब तक अवेयरनेस जाना है तो आप सब लोग, हम सब लोग मिलके काम करेंगे तभी होगा। क्योंकि राइट्स कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने भी दिया है एंड हर एक एक्ट डिफाइन करती है अलग से चाइल्ड राइट्स को लेकर, बट बेनिफिशियरीज तक पहुंचने के लिए अवेयरनेस की कमी है। फॉर एग्जांपल रिसेंटली जो कंट्रोवर्सी जैसा हो गया था, जो पॉक्सो की जजमेंट, आप में कुछ बच्चों ने फॉलो किया होगा, कुछ स्टूडेंट्स ने, नागपुर की जो जस्टिस ने बताया था, रेप विक्टिम के बारे में उन्होंने अलग तरीके से डिफाइन कर दिया है। सो इफ एक जस्टिस अगर वुमेन है तो क्वेश्चन वो जेंडर को लेकर ज्यादा उठाया जा रहा था, वो इंटरप्रिटेशन को कम। सो वी ऑल्सो जेंडर बायस्ड, यानी उन्होंने गलत इंटरप्रेट किया या इंटरप्रिटेशन सही नहीं है, तो वी नीड टू अमेंड दोज एक्ट्स जहां पर लूप होल्स है। मुझे लगता है मुझे जो टाइम दिया हुआ है उसमें मैं परसेप्शंस के बारे में बात करना है, तो मुझे लगता है वी नीड टू मेक पीपल मोर अवेयर। जैसे मैं 26 जनवरी गई थी आरडी परेड इस बार, एकदम शांति से परेड चल रही थी। आप में से कुछ बच्चे अटेंड किए होंगे दिल्ली में। मैं जाती थी तो मुझे पता नहीं, कुछ तो डिफरेंस लगा इस 26 जनवरी। बाद में बाहर आते टाइम मैंने देख रहे थे हाथ में दिया हुआ, चिल्ड्रन बिलो 15 ईयर्स वर नॉट अलाउड। सो जहां पर बच्चों की हंसी नहीं है, जहां पर बच्चों की किलकिलाहट नहीं है, वहां पर आरडी परेड जैसा एक प्राइड कंट्री दिखाती है, वो भी फीका पड़ जाती है। जस्ट इमेजिन दिस वर्ल्ड विदाउट हैप्पी चिल्ड्रन। विदाउट चिल्ड्रन तो नहीं बोल सकती हूँ मैं। जब हम उनको रेस्पेक्ट देंगे, उनके राइट्स को प्रोटेक्ट करेंगे, तभी हम इस देश को या इस दुनिया को खुश देख सकते हैं, एंड उनके थ्रू ही भविष्य है। सो कोर्ट्स में भी चाइल्ड फ्रेंडली कोर्ट्स जो होना चाहिए, डिफाइंड है लीगली। मैं हैदराबाद विजिट में देखी थी चाइल्ड फ्रेंडली कोर्ट, बट देश में बहुत सारे जगह में प्रॉपर कोर्ट की फंक्शनिंग प्रॉपर नहीं होती है। रोहिणी कोर्ट्स में शूट आउट हुआ। जस्ट इमेजिन बच्चों को उस स्ट्रक्चर में हम कैसे रख सकते हैं। एंड हाई कोर्ट की एक डायरेक्शन था 2012 में एनसीपीसीआर को, हमारे कमीशन को, तिहाड़ जेल में बच्चे रखा जाता है, दो दे आर नॉट सपोज टू गो। एक बार आप लोग तिहाड़ विजिट करेंगे तो आपको पता लगेगा तिहाड़ में बच्चे। इस मंथ भी हमारी टीम तिहाड़ गई है, 2012 से जाती है, डीएलएसए की पैनल एडवोकेट्स को लेकर। मैं सुपरवाइज करती हूँ क्योंकि जुवेनाइल जस्टिस की मेंबर हूँ। अभी भी 45 बच्चे हमने ढूंढा वहां पर। लास्ट मंथ की बात बता रही हूँ मैं। तो ये स्थिति है। पूरा सिस्टम में जाते हैं ना, कोई भी जेल में वैसे तो नहीं जाते बच्चे, बट बच्चे कभी कभी अपना एज छुपा देते हैं। जो क्राइम मिलके करते हैं बड़ों के साथ, उनके साथ रहना चाहते हैं, डॉक्यूमेंट्स नहीं रहती हैं तो जेल्स में रह जाते हैं। तो ऑल ओवर इंडिया पता नहीं कितने जेल्स में कितने बच्चे रहेंगे। नॉट ओनली जेल्स, चाइल्ड केयर इंस्टीट्यूशंस, हम सब जानते हैं चाइल्ड केयर इंस्टीट्यूशंस में कैसी हालत है। तो हमने बाकी कमीशन से मिलके सुप्रीम कोर्ट की डायरेक्शंस को फॉलो करते हुए एक एसओपी तैयार कर दिया है। एंड कंट्री में जितने भी रजिस्टर्ड चाइल्ड केयर इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं उन सब में भी सोशल ऑडिट करवा रहे हैं और इंस्पेक्शंस के सिस्टम को स्ट्रेंथन करना चाह रहे हैं। एंड बच्चे जो स्ट्रीट सिचुएशन में है उनको भी कैसे सपोर्ट करें, तो इन सब में एनसीपीसीआर काम कर रही है। साथ में मुझे लगता है आज का टॉपिक में जो और जस्टिफाई करेंगे एडवोकेट जो हमारे साथ पैनल में है, और मैं तो आपके साथ हूँ अभी। बाकी आप लोग अभी से अपने आप को इक्विप करें जो ह्यूमन राइट्स के बारे में, चाइल्ड राइट्स के बारे में इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे क्या होता है, क्या कन्वेंशंस हो रहे हैं और क्या हमने साइन किया और यहाँ पर क्या फॉलो किया जा रहा है, और कैसे अवेयरनेस से हम बच्चों को और अच्छे जगह दिला सकते हैं। दे आर, हम जैसा वो वॉइसलेस एक सेक्शन है और उनके कंसर्न्स जेन्यून होते हैं। और पोस्ट कोरोना बच्चों की साइकोलॉजिकल कंडीशन, वो स्कूल्स ना जाना, जस्ट इमेजिन आप जैसे बड़े जो हो गए हैं, जैसे टीनेजर्स भी होंगे, बड़े होंगे, आपके लिए दिक्कत है, हम लोगों के लिए दिक्कत है। तो बच्चों का सोचिए बिलो 18 ईयर्स या बिलो 15 ईयर्स, उनके साथ क्या बीत रही होगी। सो अवेयरनेस बच्चों में है, उनकी राइट्स के बारे में अवेयरनेस है, ये इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग है। बट एडवोकेट्स में कमी है, एनजीओस में अवेयरनेस है, बट गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल्स में कम है, और पर्टिकुलरली कोर्ट्स में एक जनरलाइज करके बोलना, चाइल्ड सेंट्रिक होना चाहिए, बच्चों की वेलफेयर टॉप प्रायोरिटी देना चाहिए। हर एक्ट, इवन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बच्चों का भलाई के लिए बनाया गया है, बट हम कस्टडी बैटल्स देखते हैं पेरेंट्स का, बच्चों को एक वेपन बना देते हैं, एक टॉय जैसा खेला जाता है उसके फीलिंग्स के साथ। तो कुछ मैटर्स में कोर्ट्स बहुत अच्छे जजमेंट्स दिए हुए हैं और चाइल्ड फ्रेंडली कोर्ट्स के लिए पूरा एफर्ट्स किया जा रहा है। पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट को भी अवेयरनेस किया जा रहा है और स्पेशल जुवेनाइल पुलिस यूनिट जो है उसमें सिर्फ डिप्यूटेशन पे भेजना ये सब भी थोड़ा कम हुआ है। चेंजेस होना स्टार्ट हुआ है, बट बहुत कुछ और आगे करना है। एक बच्चा कंफर्टेबली फील करे और अपने आप के भविष्य में अपने राइट्स के लिए आगे है, और राइट्स के साथ साथ हर बच्चे को, हर ह्यूमन बीइंग को अपना ड्यूटीज तो पता ही है, बट अभी बच्चों को हर कैंपेन में यूज किया जाता है। हर कैंपेन बच्चा वाज देयर, चाहे टीका लेने से लेकर, पोल्यूशन से लेकर, एनवायरमेंटल इश्यू से लेकर, हर इश्यू बच्चा एक उसको उपयोग किया जाता है। बट व्हाट अबाउट देयर राइट्स, व्हाट अबाउट देयर वेलफेयर? सो हम सब लोग उनके लिए काम करना है। जब इतने छोटे बच्चों के ऊपर इतना बड़ा बर्डन डाल दिया हम सब मिलके, सो उनका क्राइम के तरफ ना जाए, इसके लिए सारे एडल्ट्स को काम करना पड़ेगा। वी नीड टू अडॉप्ट आवर किड्स, नॉट एडॉप्शन कारा वाला नहीं। हम अगर बिग ब्रदर बिग सिस्टर रोल, क्योंकि अभी तो बच्चे किसी का सुनते नहीं है, 12 इयर्स के बाद दे फील दैट दे आर इंडिपेंडेंट एंड एडल्ट, बट टीनेज इश्यूज रहते हैं उन बच्चों में। एंड बाकी लीगल फ्रेमवर्क में फैटर्निटी में बहुत चेंज आना है, इवन कोर्ट्स में भी बहुत चेंज आना ही है। विदाउट दैट कितना भी एक्ट अमेंड करेंगे हम, कोई उसका प्रॉपर यूटिलाइजेशन नहीं होता। थैंक यू सो मच गर्ल अप एंड एमिटी यूनिवर्सिटी। अब मैं आगे आपके साथ जुड़ी रहूंगी। थैंक यू।
थैंक यू प्रज्ञा मैम। मैम आपने इतने इतने प्यार से, इतने मीठे शब्दों में इतनी सारी बातें हम लोगों को बताई हैं मैम। वी आर सो ग्रेटफुल। एंड मैम आपको बताना चाहूँगी कि हमने दिल्ली एनसीआर में 5 गांव अडॉप्ट किए हैं। तो इन 5 गाँवों में हम लोगों ने टाइम टू टाइम उन बच्चों को भी आइडेंटिफाई किया है। मतलब जैसे कि जो बच्चे स्कूल नहीं जाते थे, तो हम लोग ने पहले ट्राई किया कि वहाँ के लोकल पॉपुलेशन से बातें करें। तो हमने उनको उनको स्कूल में एडमिट कराया और उनको लाइक लगातार अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम्स के थ्रू भी बताते रहते हैं कि जैसे अभी मैम कल परसों ही हमारा हुआ था एक इवेंट, तो चाइल्ड अवेयरनेस के बारे में था। तो वी टोल्ड देम लाइक शराब नहीं पीनी चाहिए। तो लोगों को लगता है कि अल्कोहल का ही एडिक्शन होता है, लेकिन फिर मैंने बताया कि जैसे नहीं, नेल पॉलिश में जो होता है या फिर जो बूट पॉलिश में चीज़ें होती है, लोग उससे भी एडिक्टेड हो जाते हैं। तो इट वाज वेरी वेल रिसीव। तो जैसे मुझे जो आपने मैम बताया ना कि एक बड़ी बहन और एक बड़े भाई का रोल प्ले करना चाहिए, मैम बहुत बहुत खूबसूरती से आपने बताया। थैंक यू सो मच मैम फॉर बीइंग हियर। ओवर टू यू निशिका।
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving such a wonderful speech. It means a lot to us, the whole team, and all the participants present here.
ऑल द बेस्ट बेटा, ब्लेस यू।
Thank you, ma'am, for your learned and comprehensive views on this critical issue. I now invite Imran sir to dwell on the legal aspects of the issue.
Hello, everybody. We live in a country, I would say, with very disappointment that child right is not a priority in India and never been an issue. Because if we look at this, there are 2 courts which everybody knows that children are tried when they commit any offense in a different court, which is called JJB, Juvenile Justice Board. So there are 1 magistrate and 2 social members. And lawyers are not supposed to wear their uniform, and police is also not supposed to wear their uniform. But in that sense, my belief is that any judge who is being posted to JJB is considered among judiciary that it's a punishment posting, because your whole power as being judge to issue warrant, to haul up anybody, to call up any policeman is gone, because you are very friendly. So we live in a country which look up for power as a major tool for your life. You always drive for the power. So in that sense, we never look up children. We say, okay, we are busy with very, very different issues. Like we have We are busy with development, we are busy with politics, but we are not busy with whatever is going to come up next. These are the children which are going to be voters, which are going to be the future of India. And in that sense, we are not looking at the scenario what is happening in child rights. So ma'am was very right when she was saying about Tihar jail visits. It was started in 2012. I was the one of the first member of that group which went to the Tihar, because that time Mr. Altamash Kabir was Chief Justice and his wife was here, Minna Kabir, and she was taking up this issue. And then High Court of Delhi directed NCPCR to form a committee, and committee was formed, and we all went there. And we being received very in a very good way. All police, all judicial, and all jail authorities are roaming around us. Sir, we are very good. We do this, we do that, and there is a very good food for you, butter paneer and butter rotis with butter and all. But surprising, I'll tell you, I went there at least 10 to 12 times in jail during my tenure on that panel, and we have identified at least 660 juvenile. Those are there. Either they were juvenile at the time of commission of crime, or they are there as a juvenile, but nobody is listening them, and they don't know what to do because there is no awareness. Though there is a mandatory provision in law that whenever you arrest somebody who looks like can be age discrepancy between 18 to 21, or somebody looks like a child, police has to fill a age memo. That was Delhi High Court direction. But if you look at any charge sheet which is coming up in young children, young boys cases, maybe they are not juvenile, but there is no age memo. Nobody is looking at the police is not bothered even to conduct an age inquiry whether we should send him to Tihar jail or we should send him to remand home, to the children home. But they are, because we are so much occupied with so much power and everything, police just arrest somebody, send it to Tihar. And disappointingly, if you look at the judges, they even don't look at who has been arrested. They just don't ask. Even in Delhi, I've been appeared in many cases where the accusers come from one gate and remanded from the another gate, and then police take you and you're listening there, you're standing there, but nobody's listening you. That's the plight in Delhi. If you look at outside Delhi, I don't know any magistrate who is looking at an accused and saying, "Oh, you look like a child. Maybe you are juvenile, so I should conduct an age inquiry." No, nobody is bothered. But there's plenty of work, lots of piled up files, and everybody is bothered for whatever to finish the work. 6 o'clock we should reach by home. 5 o'clock I should be free. Same for the lawyers. Okay, no, don't worry. Next date we will do it. We'll do that. So that's how in India child rights is emerging. In 1985, we started juvenile justice after rectifying UNCRC, rectifying and being signatory. Then we started Juvenile Justice Act. We being amended it. Now in 2015, it's being amended. New act has come up. And Juvenile Justice Act is a comprehensive code like CRPC for itself. It's having everything there. And it's, madam was very right saying that it's not only for child in need and care and protection, it's for every child, whosoever is not 18-year-old. There are lots of provisions are there, but who is bothered for that? Even lawyers, those are practicing in juvenile justice area, they're being considered, okay, they couldn't do much well in criminal law, or they couldn't do much well in good court, so they went to the JJB because there is nothing to do. And there being lots of, and even people are campaigning against juvenile justice. If you look at the Nirbhaya case, what had happened in that sense, you say that till 18 you can't vote, you can't choose who can rule you, but you say no, 18 is a good age. If you commit a crime, you should go to the jail, to the adult jail, where people, those are hardened criminal, 40 year, 35 year, 10 murders, 20 dacoities, they are living, and you go there, you live there. But if I want to choose my leadership, I cannot be allowed because I'm not 18. So there was a debate, and now there is a gray area. Because of all this debate, which we are doing mindlessly, from 16 to 18, they can be tried as an adult, they can be tried as a child. It depends on JJB. So this amendment we brought, our conscience has brought, we are not treating 18 as an 18. We don't issue driving license. We say you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't even marry. But yes, of course you do something, then yeah, you are responsible to do it. You have all the conscience to know what you are doing. But I say, I want to choose my prime minister, I want to choose my MLA, MP. No, you can't choose it. So that's the way we are looking at child rights. So actually for today, I prepared one on the premises of one act, which is called POCSO. We all know because that's the main difficult area nowadays in child rights. It's about child sexual abuse, which is happening for a long, long time. But in 2012, for the first time, wake up from the slumber and saying, okay, there should be a special law for children to treat if there is a child abuse, sexual abuse. But if you look at the act, wonderfully drafted act, but nothing has happened in that sense, which is the most important area in child rights. You protect maybe a boy, maybe a girl, you protect my dignity, you protect my sexuality. I'm being abused. But if you look at the act, wonderful things are there, but nothing has happened. If you look at section 43 of the act, I can show on the screen. It says about the government has to make awareness of the act. But if you look at the awareness program of the government, you will see all bus step hoardings, all hoardings talking about leaders. Have you ever seen POCSO, any advertisement there that what is good touch, what is bad touch? I don't think that there is a general public publicity is there about the act. So that because ma'am is here, I think ma'am can recommend all these things to the government. If you go to any bus stop, you will find, okay, we have given 50,000 cylinders or we have given 1 crore electricity connection. But if you look at POCSO, the most important and gray area in a side of child sexual abuse, a child who doesn't know what is happening with them, even 4-year, 3-year, 2-year being child, and they can't testify in the court. But where are we? If you look at NCRB data, you will be surprised there is only 34% conviction, which means every 66% which are booked under POCSO are going home free. Thanks to the lawyers, because the problem is not with the law, it's with the lawyer. So we all know how to get them out. And we do that. And that's our duty to save somebody. But look at the conviction rate, 34%. When is this conviction rate? When there is a section in POCSO 30 and 31. See, in general criminal law, what happened? Whenever there is a prosecution, police has to prove, complainant has to prove their case. In POCSO, there are 2 sections, 30, 31. They talk about judge will presume that there was culpable mind. Judge will presume that it was intentionally done. Judge will presume that accused knew that what he's doing. So there is a presumption against me. Full bar against me. I'm not innocent from day one. But 66 people out of 100 are going back home, despite there being presumption against me. Now you look at the reporting. Who is reporting child sexual abuse? Nobody wishes to report it, because child sexual abuse generally, who is having access to the child? There are 2 categories of child. Those are need and care and protection. On the roads, you may see they're begging, they're living on payment, they're cleaning the train coaches, or they are on the bus stop. Nobody is there. And when nobody is there, then the head of the state is the parentis partis. King is your parent. But nobody is there for them, because you don't have a parent, and king is actually no parent. So these are the children which are vulnerable to whatever is happening on the road. They are sleeping on pavement. That's one category. But the another category from which most of the child sexual abuse cases are coming, that's are incest cases. Your family is having access to child and nobody is reporting it. They don't want to report it because this is whole shame thing. I don't want to report. I have done lots of POCSO cases, and when father is an accused, brother is an accused, uncle is an accused, and you can't stop it. Government cannot stop it. Police cannot go inside your house to know what is happening. Somebody has to report it. And to report it, you should know this is wrong. And to know it, government has to aware you that there is a law which will protect you. The biggest challenge with the lawyers and the legal community is when there is an incest case, maybe my father, who was the perpetrator, is going to go to the jail. And then who will feed us? There is no plan from the government that if my father is a perpetrator, who will take care of my other brothers, sisters, or my mother or my family? He will go to the jail. So I will not report it. Will I report it? I will not report it. My mother will say, who will take care of us if your father goes to jail? So no compensation scheme, though there is a compensation. Even in Delhi now there is a judgment, Karan Singh versus the state, which says first there has to be assessment of the victim, whether she is actually requiring the compensation or not, or accused can at the end pay capacity to pay the compensation or not. That's a state duty to pay compensation. I will never report it if my bread earner is doing all this. Who will report it? But we have never come up with these kind of policies which are very, very friendly. Now this whole burden, which is for the compensation, which is clearly there in section 33(8) and rule 7 and 9. But nobody bothers. Now that burden has been, even in Delhi, has been shifted to DLSA to assess, not the judge. The law says judge has to assess. But now the judge says, okay, I'm very busy and I'm judge. I'm no one here to assess it. So you please go to DLSA file. They will assess, they will tell, I'll call a report, they will tell me, and then I will do it. Then another problem is witness protection. In 2018 in Delhi, we came up with a witness protection scheme for all sexual abuses cases and other cases, but there's no implementation. A child is a child, always a child. A 14-year girl reporting something, and tomorrow she's walking on the road, somebody can stop her. She has no power, but there's no witness protection program in place, at least in Delhi. And I know if nothing is in Delhi, it's not anywhere in India. We all know this. If we just walk to the Noida or Ghaziabad court, we will know how court runs. If we go to the Saket court, or we go to the Patiala House court, or we go to the Rohini court, then we see, okay, all air conditioned, centralized air conditioned, very nice looking courts. But you just go beyond Ghaziabad, beyond Noida, and you will see what kind of courts we are having. More so, we don't have sensitive judges. We don't have sensitivity programs for the judges. One judge is coming into the children court. We have a special court. POCSO court is not only POCSO court. Act says there will be a children court, because POCSO Act is not only sexual abuse, it's a children act. So this court is also dealing with the cases which are not sexual abuse cases, but the cases of children. Court is dealing with them, but they're not sensitive. They're just as a roster, they are coming and they are going. Judges are coming, they just go for training, come up and go. Okay, give the date. The mandatory provision in child sexual abuse is whenever there is a POCSO case, if somebody applies for bail, victim should be allowed to heard by the court. It should be heard. But there are cases, if you go just outside Delhi, without issuing notice to the victim, they are granting bails. There is a mandatory provision in POCSO which says you can have your own lawyer. That's section 42. But PP is the king of the court. I, as a lawyer of a victim, cannot argue, cannot be there. Judge will say, you assist PP. Everything is there in law. It's in letter, but nothing is in spirit. I tell you two examples. One, the office I'm sitting here, a case came. Very recent case, 2021. A young child was arrested from his house. And when he was arrested from the house and taken to the police station, family went there, they talked what had happened. So they're being told that your son was actually implicated in an FIR. So on a Mathura road, there is a place called Okhla Tank. It's a little dense vegetation there. It's a railway line, abandoned place. So they say along with the 5 people, he was preparing to commit dakati, and we seized one stolen car from him. And we also seized one pistol from him. So he said, okay, show me the FIR. How did you get? You arrested it from home and you say he was arrested there, he was planning there, sitting there. So they said, no, he was there, is the mastermind. They said, show the FIR. So FIR was registered in the evening at 7:15 p.m. It says 7:15 p.m. Police has got information that a gang of children making plan to commit robbery. And when we raided on them, we found one car, which is a stolen car, and a pistol. And surprisingly, this boy was arrested at 6:45 from his house. Bad luck to the IO, good luck to the boy. there was a government CCTV installed in front of the house, which thanks to the AAP government installed. So we filed a petition in Delhi High Court saying that they say 7:15 they received information about me planning a dakati. Look at this CCTV, which is a government CCTV, not my house CCTV. I'm so lucky, privileged that there is a CCTV in front of my house. Police has arrested me half an hour before I was planning. Half an hour before they knew that I'm planning. Not only they arrested me half an hour before, they also planted a stolen car on me and a pistol because I was not arrested from the place. It's clear from the CCTV footage. So because of the lockdown, the matter is going on in the High Court. Next date is maybe next month. Court has called the government CCTV footage. But another aspect of this case is we went to the police. We said, this boy is less than 18 years old. You should treat him as a juvenile. The boy was sent to the adult jail. For 15 days he was there. We filed application after application in the court saying that he's a juvenile. Please conduct age inquiry. And I'm having papers, his school papers, which are first thing now. After the new Act 2015, Section 92 says, first thing is the school papers. I'm showing you. I'm showing to the IO. They said, okay, we'll verify. These are from Muzaffarnagar. It will take time. Meanwhile, he will be there for 15 days in Tihar jail. Nobody cares. Child is a child. Maybe you are a child, but you are an accused. So that's how we are giving respect to child rights. Another case which I want to tell you is interesting case. Two cases I've seen in POCSO. See, POCSO Act says any person, any child being any person who is below age of 18, is indulged in a sexual activity with a person who is above 18. So then this person who is above 18 is actual accused, not the child. So there were two cases. A boy being sexually abused by a girl, being 22-year-old, boy being 16-year-old. And in Western UP, there is a district called Bijnor. So boy was in jail, girl was out. Boy was in a jail for rape. So for 3 months, they were trying to prove that he's a juvenile. So they said, okay, he's a juvenile, transfer him from district jail to juvenile home. But we try to make understand judge that actually accused is not the boy, accused is the girl as per the act. Because the child has been exploited. Judge said, no, I don't believe it. And then he said, I'm telling you, I appeared. And the judge said, show me the law. I said, law is gender neutral. POCSO Act is gender neutral. It doesn't talk about girl. It's not like rape. It's a gender neutral law. Judge said, no. If you look at the act, the word is used he. So he with the boy doesn't cover here. I said General Clause Act, you see he and she are same. We write law because we live in a patriarchal society. We always write law in he. We don't write in she. But judge was not agreeable. So that's how I wanted to show you the lack of sensitivity. I may be committing a dakati, but if I say I may be a child, give me a chance. You can detain me in a children's home also. Why there is a need to send me to Tihar jail? So that shows insensitivity in Delhi, I'm telling you. This is Saket court case, which I'm telling you. Why being in jail for a month? You can detain me. Only purpose is to detain me so that I shouldn't fly, I shouldn't run away from the court and law, I shouldn't temper. So you put me in children's home. If I'm declared adult, you put me in Tihar jail. No, what they do opposite. They will send you to Tihar jail and you prove and then you come back to home. So that's what we are doing in India with children. And then we say, okay, बच्चे तो सब हाथ से निकलते जा रहे हैं, कोई समझ ही नहीं रहा है कि समाज कैसे बनाना है. So there are courts, CWC, JJB, special courts. If you look at CWC, they just come up. Everybody is bothered. Okay, I am CWC member because you being empowered as a magistrate. You are executive magistrate if you are CWC member. There are cases when children are held in the home and parents are running door to pillar and everywhere saying, boss, please release my children. I am there to take care of them. No. We think you can't take care. Let them be home. So this is what's happening, and that's what we are feeling. If you look at child labor cases, nobody is bothered. If you look at beggars, child beggars, nobody is bothered. Because we live in a society which is not bothered for children, and we think we are going to have a great future. What kind of great future if you will have if our children are not going to school, they are begging on the road, they are doing labor. And thanks to the new government, they amended the labor code. They say now children are also allowed to work in a non-hazardous things, 14 years old. Because we want to improve, we want to be developed nation, we need more labor, so children are allowed. So they can go to the school, but they can also work. So that's the very sad and grim situation of child rights in India. Madam is here, commission is fully empowered to recommend, to do anything. They are the commissioner for the whole nation. If we put all these beggars into adoption, because every child whosoever has not attained the age of 14 can be adopted under the Guardianship Act. But are we bothered to put them in adoption? No. Look at the budget which we are allocating for the child rights issues. Every year, if you see in last 20 years, is depleting. If you see the budget paper, which comes in a 1st of April in Parliament, we all wait. What is going to be there? But what we are worried? We are worried for the how much will be the income tax calculation for this year. Are we asking the government why you are depleting the budget for the child rights? There are lots of schemes which they should ICDS and all they started. And lawyers are doing their very good job. It's job of the court not to let a lawyer abuse the process of law. It's a duty of judge. I, being a lawyer, I have all the right to defend my client to whatever extent I can do. Being in a judicial legal system, I have all the right to take adjournments after adjournments. But it is the judge who has to hold me. Hello, mister. You're taking adjournments after adjournments. How this case will end up? Judge says, okay, I'm also relaxed. No witness, give it 8. Even POXO cases, if you look at this today, a child who being traumatized, sexually abused, 6-month dates. 6-month date now, you being abused, you went to the police. How child-friendly police we have, we know. Then that being to the court for 164, then again being there, no support person. Support person will meet you in the morning when you come to testify. Nobody is there. Though there is a direction to DCPU that support person should be immediately given to the victim. But there's no DCPU. If we are doing all this in a sexual abuse cases, most vulnerable category, then you can think of it like what we will be doing in labor, child labor cases, children bagging cases. So these are the problems which are coming up every day we are facing. We are facing in court, sometimes judges only. Though there is a mandatory provision in POXO that in 30 days you will complete evidence. I have not seen a single case even where 300 days evidence is completed, even in Delhi. Not a single case. Then if you look NCRB data, you will be surprised that there are compromise cases in POXO also. If you look at the chart, there are hostile witnesses. Child is saying, I don't recognize. Complaint is, he's my uncle. Witness, influenced. No, I don't recognize he was there or not. So these are the challenges before us. And we as a lawyer, you all are coming up as a lawyer. Some of you will be judges. Some of them will also go to the higher courts, High Court, Supreme Court. You all have to take care. We all have to take this responsibility and develop a child-friendly atmosphere, because that's the only thing everybody has gone through. I being child, you being child. It's not a case of human rights. It's not a case of something else. It's not a case that I have not been in that setup. In India, my personal experience says, or lots of papers says, that everybody being a child being molested in some way by friends, relatives, we all did it. But what we are doing when we are judge, then okay, we are only judge. We forget what is happening. Of course, you have to forget. You have to wear a veil of ignorance. But we all went through that process. We all been child. So that's how we expect from our national commission, our state commission, our CWC, our district unit, even our policemen. Who is a policeman? Policeman is like you and me. He's my uncle, he may be my father, he may be my brother, he may be my relative. Policeman is like a person like me, but why he's not sensitive? When it comes to his own children, he's sensitive. But when it's coming to children, those are bagging, it's not sensitive. Same for the judges, same for the lawyers, same for the everybody. When it comes to me, then I'm sensitive. When it's not related to me, I'm not bothered. Look at your poster, which you draw for child abuse. The girl is saying, please stop it. But to stop it, we have to aware them. We don't want to talk about this. We want to say, no, it will bring defame to us. It will ruin our names. पूरे खानदान का नाम बदनाम हो जाएगा. ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? And I've seen cases because I worked with so many child rights organizations in the POXO cases that cases are coming from, say, Ryan International School, DPS, which are having families which are influential culturally, financially. They say we are rich, we are grown up, we are intellectuals, but this is all happening all around us because of the awareness, because we don't care for child as a child. And lots of challenges are there, but there is ray of hope. We traveled from 1985 to today. We are in 2022. If you look at COVID situation, now the situation of children are very, very bad. If you look at children for 2 years, they've not been to school. There are lots and lots of children. They lost their parents, either single parent or the both of them. Situation is very grim. We have to act very fast for the children because they are the future. They are the tomorrow's voters, leaders, scientists, engineers, doctors, lawyers, judges, and we've been to that whole situation. So we have to have a holistic environment to grow this. I'm very glad that you people are doing Girl Up, Aarohi, whatever way. Name can be anything. You call a rose by name of Genda, it will always be rose and smell like rose. That's how it is. So, but I'm very glad that you are doing all this because child rights is the domain which people think, okay, I've seen people caring for animal rights. Of course, you should care for animal rights, but they say, I don't care for child rights. So this is the area, if you don't shape now, a person till 18 is not being shaped, not being properly counseled or put on the right path, he's going to destroy you all, himself and you all. And then you say, oh, these are the all hardened criminals. Who made them criminals? This boy who was arrested by police in a false case in Delhi, in South Delhi, he been in jail for 3 months. He met to all kind of people in jail. There was a very, very notorious criminal in Delhi, juvenile criminal, very notorious. So his charm was that he will go to a policeman house, commit a theft, and put it on fire around Sarojini Nagar area. I don't want to name him. And he always says that I will not live up to whenever I will grow above 18, police will not let me go and they will encounter me. So nobody has talked to him. Why you are why you are doing this, stealing, theft? You can have a good life. You are a smart man, young, very nice, charming person, young boy, having 100 of tattoos on his body. Then one fine day I was sitting with one of the gentlemen who knew him, and then we were talking. Then he told the story. He said my father was a drunkard. He was beating every day my mother and every person. And there was some children in our, like some young boys in my locality. I was living in a slum near Sarojini Nagar. And they were teasing my sister every day. And I was looking at this. And one fine day, my mother committed suicide by putting herself on fire. And since then, my sister committed suicide by putting her on fire. I went to police station. We went here and there, but nothing happened. And since then, this is how my matches is that I put every house on fire where I steal, and I steal only the policeman house because they never helped me. This is daily case. More than 17, 18 juvenile justice board cases on him. Nobody counts it. You just accuse, you put before JJB, you send to the home, you release, you again commit same crime. And then now by that time they go to the home and they come back from the home, they know that maximum punishment 3 years. If I commit a murder, even 3 years, don't worry. And they have to give me bail. But nobody is there sincerely talking to him. Saying, man, sit. You have a very good future. You are 14, 16, 15. You have at least 70 years, 60 years in your head. Why don't you, somebody should have told him, why don't you go to the school, pass your graduation, become a policeman and help the people. He might have taken that path. Nobody was there. So what good path he has taken? Okay, I'll become a theft. Then you see films, there is a charm, cigarette, liquor, cigar, okay, jewel thief, smuggler. So this is all happening around us. There are challenges. But you have broader shoulders. You are coming up lawyers. You may be judges, you may be academician, you may be jurists. So this is all our cumulative responsibility, collective responsibility that we should work in this area. I think that's good enough for a lecture. And now people can ask questions and I will be available. Madam is also there. And I wish that maybe next year we also do this kind of series and we are evolved in a good way towards the child rights. We have achieved something new and we are doing good. And I wish you all luck. You are really doing good work.
Thank you so much, sir, for your expert comments and incisive legal view. My co-host Shreya will now take the session forward.
All right, so we'll take up a few questions. But before that, I have a question for both of you, sir and ma'am. Like, children reach out to NGOs as that's the primary source through which they can get in contact with the courts. Do you think there are enough NGOs who look after the child welfare? And if yes, where do you think that these NGOs actually lag in providing these children with justice, helping them out to reach out to courts?
Good question. But I think along with NGOs, we need to know that they are 1098. Why 1098 is there? Because at 1098, a child will remember that number. That's why 1098 was launched. And 100, I myself tried a lot of times, both numbers. 1098 is very prompt, will give response. And rescue operation also with the support of NGOs, they'll do. So this coordination between agencies and NGOs, it should be there. And now technology is improved. Lot of changes are there. So running an NGO is very easy thing right now. We need to register our NGOs, and lack of NGOs, lot of NGOs are there. Even in child rights field, earlier only NGOs used to work. Now government establishments, they started their own agencies, just like our commission. The panelist, he mentioned about jail visit and other NCPCR activities. We are 13, 14 years old commission, though it's a national commission. State commissions are there. Lot of NGOs are much more powerful than us because they are internationally connected. And child sexual abuse or any trafficking, it's not only happening in India. It's everywhere. Entire world is suffering with this type of exploitation of children. So need of NGOs is there, but lot of NGOs and government agencies, they generally ignore the seriousness, the concern. It's Nirbhaya episode. I was working, even now I am part of NGO network. So I have exposure of working with NGOs also. So I think there are sufficient NGOs are there, but the convergence should be there. If we adults, we discuss anything, if we criticize the established structures of our own country and democracy, constitution, even police, medical fraternity, legal system, that criticism itself gives an opportunity to the wrongdoers. So the basic thing, let us trust each other. So I think I answered your question. Lot of NGOs are there, but the mistrust among these teams, they are not equipped. The rescue teams are not equipped, and the police personnel. Look at how they worked in the COVID time. Our concepts changed. Those people who used to threaten us, they work like a social workers. Exploitation of doctors, that medical field, and they worked, they were angels. No? So there's a lot of negatives in our system, but we need to work together, then only, without any political ideology, without any state difference, without linguistic differences, we should work. Because I saw in trafficking matters, kids from northeast, they land in a different part of our country. It's totally different for them from south to north India. So NGO's role is very big, and but lot of NGOs, they misuse these type of exploitation of kids. Some NGOs, they are working for good cause. Some departments are working good. Some people, even police department, they are very sympathetic. They work very hard. Some advocates, they are exceptionally good. So we can't generalize anything and everything. Even state government, central government, they are doing their job, but the gaps should be filled up by people like you and us and other NGOs also. So I think like that.
Yes, thank you so much for this. Okay, we'll carry forward with questions we have in the chat box. So there's a question: how do you think courts and other stakeholders can collaborate to create a shared vision for child welfare?
If you don't mind, I also want to reply to first question.
Yeah, sir.
In a
Sorry.
very, very crispy and short manner. I totally agree with ma'am what she's saying. But my question is, why we need NGO? We got a freedom in 1947. We got a constitution in 1950. Responsibility is cast upon the government, not on the NGOs. So my saying is, why we are giving ventilating wall to the government that, okay, what we can't do, NGO can do. I think we should stand up, ask the government, whosoever it is, that it's your responsibility, because Article 15 is there, 14 is there, 21 is there, 19 is there. It all applies to children. And our constitution doesn't talk about any NGO. It's a government responsibility which has to be taken care. When you fail as a government to take care, then NGOs come up. And of course, there is no doubt that NGOs are doing wonderful work. There are lots and lots of NGOs. I also work for NGOs. They are doing it. But time has come when we stand up. We say that, okay, we need NGOs. They let them do what they are doing. If I have a problem, criminal problem, my first accessibility is not the NGO. It is the police station. It is the responsibility of a policeman to provide me whatever help I want and to seek and secure justice for me. And of course, there are NGOs that are doing wonderful work, but that the time has come up that we should ask the government that why NGO? That's your responsibility. Constitution doesn't talk about NGOs. Now you can move to the second question.
No, sir. Thank you so much. All right. So there's a question which says, how do you think courts and other stakeholders can collaborate to create a shared vision for child welfare?
It's for me.
Yes, sir. Anybody can answer.
See, courts have secondary responsibility in terms of any violation of any rights. When you go to the court, then only court can take up. And to court doesn't have like primary courts, JJB may have power under Juvenile Justice Act, very small powers. A special court, they don't have their suo motu powers. So to reach to that level that court are sensitized or not sensitized, we have to reach first executive to be sensitized. First thing is your dealing day-to-day dealing is with executive, not with the court. Court is a secondary tier 2 stage where you reach there with some lawyer say my rights have been violated or I as being child being abused or used or not given my right. So courts are sensitive enough in that sense. But the first thing is why this is happening. And then, of course, there are programs happening. Judges should be trained. There should be a fixed tenure for a judge, like 5 years you will sit in a child court. Now, Supreme Court is saying that every person who is passing PG medical should go to the village and do internship. Then every person who is becoming a judge for 5 years, they will be in children court, be it JJB or be it as a special court. There are judges, they've never been to children court because there are so many judges. They don't get a turn and we have a very small number of courts everywhere. Though there is a direction, if there are more than 100 POCSO court cases in a district, then there should be two courts. If 200 courts, then more than two courts. But we are not coming up with the court. So sensitivity is required. Then of course stakeholders are required. I'm saying the NCPCR is the one of the best stakeholder. DCPCR is one of the best stakeholder. They have the best brain. NGOs are competing with other NGOs. But they are not competing. They are there for the welfare. So they should take up responsibility and they are taking it up. They are doing it. Now Tihar Jail visit. Look, in a capital of India, the emerging superpower of the world, 63 juvenile in 1 month in an adult jail. Is jailer not sensitized? Has not he been gone through the childhood? Doesn't he have children? 63. I have to go and find out. NCPCR has to go and find out. Is not there can be a ruling or law that jailer has to ensure that there should not be any child in the jail. Otherwise, he should be penalized. So sensitivity automatically will come up. And of course, without sensitivity, you will not reach anywhere. You write whatever law you want to write on paper. It will be black ink. That's it. Until unless this ink starts flowing in your blood and goes to your intellect, it's of no use. So of course, there is a need to sit all stakeholders. Stakeholders also include children, not the NGO, their representative. But nobody asks them, what do you want? Of course, they think if they will ask them, they will say, we don't want a school, we don't want teachers, we don't want education, we want chutti. No, they will also tell you 110 things what we want. And without there being consultation among stakeholders, we will not grow in any way, whatever we want to grow or achieve.
All right, sir and ma'am. Another question is that how can judges and advocates help to strengthen families and in turn better serve the children? So, and ma'am, I'll repeat my question. There's a question that how can judges and advocates help to strengthen families and in turn better serve the children?
भी मैं उस प्रोफेशन में जो एडवोकेट है उनका बहुत इंथुजियास्टिक आंसर्स रिप्लाईज मैं सुन रही थी. सो मुझे लगता है कोर्ट्स एंड एडवोकेट्स दो डिफरेंट हैं. कोर्ट मतलब जुडिशरी जो जज को लेकर बता रहे, तो वो हमेशा देखते हैं मीडिएशन सेल भेजना, बच्चों की इंटरेस्ट सबसे ऊपर रखते हैं. इवन सुप्रीम कोर्ट का भी वही मैटर्स भेजा जाता है. बट एडवोकेट्स वो जिस प्रोफेशन से हम बिलोंग करते हैं, हम तो अपना क्लाइंट का और हमारे फीस का ही देखते हैं. सो प्रोफेशनल एथिक्स जो है अबाउट फैमिली स्ट्रक्चर एंड फैमिली या टू टेक केयर ऑफ देयर चिल्ड्रन, वो पर्सनल मैटर हो जाती है. सो डायरेक्ट इन्वॉल्वमेंट एक एडवोकेट का बहुत कम रहेगा, बट कोर्ट्स का जुडिशरी का जजेस का होता है मीडिएशन सेल को यूज करे और बच्चों की इंटरेस्ट पे टिके रहे. जनरली आप जो बोल रहे हो मैरिटल डिस्कार्ड्स को लेकर या कुछ और सजेशंस देना है तो वो दे सकते हैं. तो मुझे वो आपका प्रश्न का यही मतलब समझ में आया. और मैं और एक बार हमारे प्रिय एडवोकेट को बोलना चाहती हूँ, यहीं पर बार बार दिख रहा है एनसीपीसीआर या डीसीपीसीआर या आप गवर्नमेंट या बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट या देश या पुलिस वालों का जलाना, घरों का जलाना. समवेयर इन द लाइन हम जब बच्चे रहते हैं, मैं जिस एरिया से आती हूँ, तेलंगाना से आती हूँ, मैंने बहुत स्ट्रगल देखा है वहां पर. आपको सबको पता है रिसेंटली फॉर्म हुआ वो स्टेट. बहुत लोगों को लगता है क्यों फॉर्म किया तेलंगाना. मेरे एक साथी एडवोकेट पूछ रही थी, ये क्या बात है भाई, तुम लोग कभी खुश नहीं होते, इतने सालों के बाद क्यों आपका सेपरेट स्टेट चाहिए. सो पीपल डोंट इवन नो दैट आफ्टर फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल, आफ्टर 13 months वी गॉट फ्रीडम. वी मतलब मैं तो नहीं थी तब, बट माई पेरेंट्स दे सफर्ड अ लॉट. लुक एट रेफ्यूजीज एंड देयर ऑफस्प्रिंग्स. आज जो वनवासी होते हैं, ट्राइबल बेल्ट से आते हैं, नॉर्थ ईस्ट से आते हैं, वो अलग चाइल्डहुड देख के आते हैं. तो अभी एक एग्जाम्पल दिया है, तो मैं वही फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे फिर जा रही हूँ. जो हम बच्चे होते हैं, मरने तक हमारे अंदर वो बच्चा जिंदा होता है जो कैरी करता है. तो ये सबकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होती है, नॉट ओनली एडवोकेट्स एंड कोर्ट्स. ये हम सबकी जो जो वर्ड हम अटर करते हैं ना, नेगेटिविटी जो बढ़ते हैं, चाहे स्ट्रक्चर के ऊपर, चाहे आज मैं गवर्नमेंट में हूँ, कल मैं एनजीओ में रहूंगी, परसों मैं लीगल फील्ड में जाऊंगी. आज आप लोग एडवोकेट है, परसों होम मेकर बनेंगे, नहीं तो रिसर्च करके कुछ और स्कॉलर बनेंगे, या आपका प्रोफेशन पूरा चेंज कर सकते हैं. आई चेंज माई प्रोफेशन. मैं 5 बार अपना प्रोफेशन चेंज कर चुकी हूँ. तो ये हिम्मत कहाँ से आते हैं? तो हमने वो सुना है, हम फाइट बैक किया है, हमारी एंसेस्टर्स वहां पर अपनी लैंग्वेज को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए हमने फाइट किया है. तो ये स्पिरिट जो बढ़ना होता है ना, जो सेल्फ रेस्पेक्ट बढ़ना होता है, जो एग्जिस्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर को रेस्पेक्ट देना होता है, क्योंकि वी आर नॉट, देखिए जैसे सर अभी बता रहे थे एनजीओ क्यों हैं, क्यों का जवाब खुद भी जानते हैं. कोई भी गवर्नमेंट किसी भी स्ट्रक्चर को बैन नहीं कर सकती. फिर पहले चिल्लाने वाले हम ही होते हैं, फिर एनजीओ को बैन कर दिया. हम सब मिलके काम करें. तो कोर्ट्स वो रोल प्ले कर रहे हैं, कहीं पर एर कर देते हैं. जैसे मैंने पोक्सो एक्ट का बताया, बीइंग ए वुमेन उन्होंने एर कर दिया है, बट उसको तुरंत पनिशमेंट मिला। द लेडी को इतना पूरा देश भर में उसको गाली देने लग गए। Here I want to say that think about your own anger, your own perception. क्योंकि विदाउट एनजीओस वी कांट सर्वाइव। ऐसे सिचुएशन इसलिए आया है बिकॉज एनजीओस पहले से है और गवर्नमेंट बाद में आया, और गवर्नमेंट केपेबल नहीं है करने के लिए। ऐसे नहीं है, नहीं तो बच्चों को सबको ऑर्फनेजेस भेज देना चाहिए ना। घर पे इंसेस्ट हो रहा है, इसका मतलब आप अपने बाप भाई से ट्रस्ट ही ना करो, बैड टच ने वो टच ही ना करने दे। ऐसे नहीं हो सकता है, नहीं हो सकता है। जो हमारे बचपन की चाइल्डहुड की ट्रस्ट मिसट्रस्ट, बीइंग एडल्ट वी आर नॉट सपोज टू, हम किसी के ऊपर हावी नहीं हो सकते हैं। बट बहुत सारे लोग इंटेलेक्चुअल्स और हम सब भी ये कहीं ना कहीं गलती कर बैठते हैं, जो हमारे अंदर की बच्चा इनसिक्योर्ड। कि मैंने बहुत सारे मैटर्स में देखा है, बेंच भी कभी कभी ऐसे बोल देते हैं, लोग भी कभी ऐसे बोल देते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है जो हमारी डिस्कशन चल रही है, और भी क्वेश्चंस होगा, मैंने जो टाइम लेके आई हूँ, हमारी इमोशनल सेल्फ अलग होती है, हमारे रेस्पॉन्सिबल सिटीजन जैसा बनना अलग होती है। एग्जिस्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर को कितना अच्छा बना सकते हैं, जो एग्जिस्टिंग डेमोक्रेसी को कितना अच्छा बना सकते हैं, कन्वर्जेंस कितना अच्छा कर सकते हैं। जो मेरे रोल एज ए मेंबर एनसीपीसीआर, मैं तो यही कर रही हूँ। मुझे खुद के साथ भी काम करना होता है, अपने साथियों के साथ काम करना होता है, एनजीओ के साथ काम करना होता है, या हमें विंग्स है नहीं है, हम फ्लाई कर सकते हैं नहीं कर सकते हैं, उड़ान भरने की कोशिश तो करती है हर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, हर स्ट्रक्चर, हर एस्टेब्लिशमेंट एंड आवर कंट्री आल्सो। सो ये सेल्फ रेस्पेक्ट, प्राइड टुवर्ड्स आवर ओन बीइंग, ये बनने का सिर्फ कोर्ट्स की रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है, हर एक इंडिविजुअल की रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है। जो बच्चों में, जो अभी सर बोल रहे थे, जो एक एग्जाम्पल दिए थे, और काउंसलिंग की भी जरूरत है। इसलिए मैंने पहले ही बोल दिया है, हम सब काउंसलर्स बने एडवोकेट्स के साथ साथ, देन हम बाकी एस्टेब्लिशमेंट को फिंगर नहीं पॉइंट करेंगे, जो है उसकी अच्छाई लेकर आगे चल सकते हैं। तो थैंक यू सो मच। मैं अभी आपके सेशन छोड़ना चाहती हूँ क्योंकि मुझे और कुछ और काम है। थैंक यू।
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much. Imran sir, would you like to answer this question as well?
I think we take up next question that being answered.
All right, sir. So
that
next question is
not here. So we take new question.
sure, sir. What steps can be taken to inculcate child-friendly behavior in the police and other authorities?
See, one of the good thing in all of us is that we are human beings and there are emotions in us. So I just want to contradict what Madam was saying, that we always need not require the law to be a good citizen. Is it mandatory to municipal corporation to put fine on throwing litter on the road? Or is it yourself you can do as a moral behavior that I don't want to throw litter on the road? Or will you stop only after you will be knowing that there is a fine up to this? If we have reached to that level that we do certain acts because there is a punishment not doing them, then we can't resolve the problem. Every policeman is a human being. And I believe 90% of policemen are father or mother or uncle or brother. And they all has gone through the childhood. There are other technical aspects to this, like our Indian police is so overworked. If you look at a policeman is doing 3 jobs primarily. So if there is some problem, we need some force, we need power, like divert this, divert do. So we think our policeman will become a Superman, fly from the police station, reach there. Be it a snake being found in a house or be it a traffic on a red light failure. So we expect policemen to fly from the police station like a Superman and reach there. Maybe like Captain America. Then if there is a case, there is some robbery, dacoity, murder, we expect the same policeman to work like Sherlock Holmes to resolve the case. Same man. We never expected Sherlock Holmes to go and fight with somebody. We only expect him to solve the mysteries. But this policeman who has came 8 o'clock in the morning to the police station. So first he went to some traffic light to resolve the issue because light was not working. Somebody else's fault, but police is correcting. Suddenly there is a call that there is a murder or suicide or something. Then this policeman becomes Sherlock Holmes. Next very fine day, there is a bail listed up in the court and this IO is required in the court. Court has sent him a notice and we expect him to be Ram Jethmalani to assist the PP with all legal acumen. So a policeman is given 3 tasks. Unfortunately, this policeman might be MA in Urdu, Hindi, Sanskrit, or history or geography, and knows nothing about forensic, never been science student, never been a police student. He just wanted a job, he landed up there, cleared the exam, is there. So his task is 8 o'clock I should reach duty, 5 o'clock I should go home. And I should finish whatever I want to finish. So the basic problem is that we have to make him understand that whatever you are doing is how this is impacting. Lots of example, good stories you might have heard, read in the books. It says when somebody goes through a process, then they realize what they are doing. Similarly to the Gautam Buddha also. He thought, why this is all happening? Then he said, okay, let me test it. And then he gone through the process. And then he said, okay, abandon the word. Process is important. A policeman just for the training to get a star, to get a promotion, to get a salary slip bigger, you can't sensitize. You have to sensitize from the heart. A policeman should know when I am a DCPU, then my duty is primarily towards children. And he should think that every children is his family member. Similarly for the judges, similarly for the lawyers. And you can't blame lawyers, because you say, okay, we as a lawyer, we are under oath to defend anybody. So if a murderer will come to me, I have to defend him. So you say legal fraternity has to do. So you say you don't take up the case because this man, like people has told our at the time of Nirbhaya that nobody should take up the case of this juvenile. Then if you see the later on headlines of the Times of India, Indian Express, where the Chief Justice of India is saying that the boy was not whatever is being said about him. There's nothing against him in the charge sheet which being filed in Nirbhaya case. But because we are not sensitized enough, we are not giving doubt. Somebody went to his house and put the bomb. 2 people were arrested. So police has to be, we have to actually do lots of systematic changes. But before doing that, because that's a far-fetched dream, we have to sensitize and we have to actually, everyone has to take responsibility. I have to take a responsibility. You have to take a responsibility because my uncle may be the policeman, your father may be the policeman. And we have to open up as a society to talk on issues. We don't want to talk. Now, thanks to all Android and iPhones, we even don't talk to ourselves. We don't talk to brother and sister, and we want to talk to the society. So from where we'll bring the change? Change has to come within. If Girl Up goes to 2-3 police stations, do a 1-day training program for the policemen with the good expert counselors, child right activists, I'm sure you will at least turn one policeman as a Sacred Heart policeman. Nobody is doing that. Who is appreciating, except the monthly salary crediting into the account, what appreciation a policeman is getting? So there is no reward system. there is no appeasement, there is no appraisal, there is no appreciation. And these all things follows and people change themselves. We, as a human being, anybody thought we will ever fly? Now today we are flying. Anybody could have thought 100 years ago that, oh, there can be a space and man can live in the space. We are living in a space station. You are living in Delhi, which is temperature goes up till 50. And you can go to the Rohtang Pass where temperature is -20 and you will survive. So human being is most molded thing. We are the most adopted. We can train ourselves, but there should be a trainer and an urge to get trained. And that's how we have to develop. I've seen in last 20 years in Delhi also. I started with this. Now less people are throwing litter on the roads. We have traveled to 20 years. If you look at 20 years ago and 20 years today, and now people look for the dustbin. Earlier, they were not looking for the dustbin. You go to the 30,000 code in 1998, thanks to all pan masala and pan, you will see all the court corner painted red. Though now you can't even distinguish what color was on the wall, yellow, white, or whatever. Now it is red. But now you look at this, people are changing because you are training. They are getting evolved. Every day as a human being, we evolve. If you go to the old Delhi station today, also you'll find litter. Same person, same Indian people. You go to the Chandigarh station, railway station, you will find clean railway station. You go to the metro station, clean. You go to the Apollo hospital, very clean. You go to the Safdarjung hospital. What is this? Same human being. So we only thing is training. You have to sensitize, you have to train. Today, at least 10 people are listening this. Out of 10, if they turn, 10 will turn next 10 and it will go a long chain. That's how we have to evolve. Training is the best way, sensitization, and everybody should be open to learn, open to get trained, and then train others. That's the only way, be it judges, be it police, be it lawyers. And we have to train also children. They should know what is their right. As a young adult, you say, okay, you policeman, how can you ask me this? Show me the warrant. Every picture you have seen the film. Where is the warrant? How can you come to my house? But child doesn't know what is his right. We never told them what is your right. So you also have to do lots of training for children. Go to school, make them aware. And ensure that they don't feel being victim. They should feel something has gone wrong with me and I have a right to speak. That's the only way.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for putting your views into these questions. I can see a lot of other questions, but we are running less of time. So, sir, is there any way you could, like, people can contact you later if they have other queries?
I think I am on LinkedIn. My number is there, email is there. But I'm also tied up with my professional commitments. But I will try to reply everybody, be precise, to the point question, and I'll give you to the point answer. That's the only way.
Thank you so much, sir. And we have sent a feedback form in the chat box. So I request everybody to fill that. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir.
Including the speakers? For the
so you can fill it if you want to, but it's only for the participants so that we can know the names for giving certificates.
Making it live. Okay.
Thank you so
much for doing this all. And I wish you all luck. I believe the revolution should start from this Girl Up Aarohi. And you should reach everywhere. Thank you. Have a good time. Do well.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would call Maitri to give a vote of thanks.
Did sir leave or is he here in the meeting?
I think he's here.
Yeah, I'll not go unless you ask me to go.
Okay,
I don't go till the judgment is passed.
So thank you to our honorable guests today, which is Advocate Imran Ali and Ms. Pragna, who has unfortunately left us due to some prior commitments. It's my privilege to present the vote of thanks and to acknowledge the efforts of everyone who has contributed to make this event a success. So I'd first like to thank our guests, Ms. Advocate Imran Ali, who has enlightened us with his words and knowledge and practical experiences and has showed us the path of future and has basically paved the way for us so that we can also benefit the other members of the society. I'd also like to thank our faculty coordinator, Ms. Sumitra Singh, Dr. Sumitra Singh, who has been a rock solid support to us. And without her guidance, I guess this event wouldn't have been as much successful as it has been. And I'd also like to thank all the committee members who have been so proactive in their participation, their energy, which made us reach over here at this point. And in the end, I'd like to thank all the budding rock stars who were here present in the audience, who were there to listen. And I hope that this session was as enlightening as it was for me. And I wish everyone all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I'm leaving.
Thank
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maitri. Thank you, everybody who joined us today. We hope to see you in other events as well. Till then, take care, and we'll end this event here. Thank you.
Guys, I have a question.
Yes, who's this?
I think he left. Jupiter.
Okay, are there any doubts?